Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Wow, today it was Christmas in March. Almost every day is like that. I have to honestly tell you, there were so many great patterns today. It was just unbelievable. We saw the market get hit here, got absolutely kabooshed at one point. S&P futures hit a low of 50 and three quarters, and then bounced. Never saw that low again on the day. However, what we saw here was a big monster selling. Now, remember I told you that the weekly charts reversed to sell on the spiders and reversed the prior week on the Qs. When the weeklies reverse to sell like that, you don't go from sell to buy. Yesterday's print high of 57.60 on the S&P futures. I was looking for 57.80, maybe as high as 58.30. That's still not out of the question, but we got this push down and from the lows of 55.09 in a quarter or three quarters, and all the way back up to 57.60, a deep oversold condition rally. I'm still looking for a push up to, and I'll show you, to get this to an overbought reading, and then I think they hit them again here. We're not out of the woods. Normally this pattern could take anywhere from 4 weeks to 4 months, or maybe even as much as 8 to 10 months or longer, but we'll see. I don't think so, because the monthly chart is still very bullish on the underlying market, the spiders, the Qs on the monthly charts. We saw phenomenal patterns in Avago, Nvidia, Meta today, Palantir, Microsoft. So many patterns. I have to tell you, everything lined up here. On the 30-minute time frame at 1 o'clock, we saw big sell reversals on the 30-minute time frames on SMCI, on at 10 o'clock on Nvidia, on spiders, the Qs, Coinbase, SMCI, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, MSTR. It's just unbelievable. Like I said, it was Christmas in March, right? And like I say, every single day there are so many great patterns, and this is what I love doing each and every day, to teach each and every one of you, to guide you along the way. But let's get right to it. We're going to look here at an unbelievable pattern at 10 o'clock, and I'm going to show you. So at 10 a.m., we had the sell reversals here on the 30-minute time. Let me bring up the 30 here. The 30-minute time frames reversed to sell. So you can see here we had the gap down, ding, 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 ding. We pushed down, and then you can see the first bump up here on the 5-minute time frame into the negative MACDs. This is the 15, but I'll show you off the 5. The ADXs are off here, and you can see now this is what's called a sell disconnect. A sell disconnect is when you have the 30-minute time frame correlating with the 15. When 2 of the 3 are in sell mode, the 60 is still bullish. So this was a major sell here from yesterday's high. And then we had the push up here around 1040. Now 1040 was a monster pattern. 1045 right here on the 15, 1040. So basically at 1040, I said around 1020, look for a bounce between 1050 and 1120. We got the push up around the 1040. The 5-minute time frame pushed up. It was the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after the 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15. It's a sell disconnect, first bounce, and let me show you the pattern. And then after that, let me just take the 5-minute time frame, go to the 12 to the 1040 pattern, and this is the bear flag right here. As you can see right here, 1040, 1045, 62, 562.07 on the spiders. Immediately dropped $1.70, pushed up again, and then dropped here. And you can see how the spiders made a new low, but the MACDs didn't. And I knew we were going to bounce off that number. But this pattern here was the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after this 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15-minute time frame. And then if you look here on the SDSs, this is the pattern that confirmed it right here. Look at this beautiful, beautiful pullback right here. The algorithm reversed to buy on the 15, on the 30 and the 15. And then this is the first pullback right here. This is the first pullback on the 5. So at 9:45, the SDS is reversed to buy on the 15. Then the 30 reversed to buy. You buy the first pullback. Not to say I'm buying SDSs, which ran about 19 cents, but the S&Ps dropped, 17 points on that. So we're actually a little bit more than that. So, and if you look here on the SQQQs, which is the same pattern, you can see here at 10:40 in the morning, the long here on the, now this actually moves a lot more than the SDSs. You can see the low here, 36.70 you could have bought here, and then boom, ran about 60 cents. Nice long here on the SDSs, pushed up, made new highs, non-confirmation, which I showed the inverse, and the Qs rallied and the spiders rallied as well. And then we got this next pullback here at 130, 115, 130, and this is the first pullback on the 15 and 30-minute time frame after they reversed to buy, and we got the big sell on the spiders and on the S&P at 130. If I bring up the QQQs here, you can see the 130 pattern. I'll bring up the 15, and here's the 30. You can see the Qs right here around the 12:30 time period is one. And then you can see here, right, every time it was near the 10-bar moving average. Now you can see here when the 30-minute time frame set up at 130, this is the real monster short here. You can see that the indicator 3 got overbought into the negative MACD. Okay, and this is the first bounce on the 15 and 30-minute time frame after they reversed to sell. Now, if you look at the 60-minute time frame, this is even better. The 60-minute time frame reversed to sell right here at 11:30. So when the 60-minute time frame reversed to sell, it correlated to the 30 and the 15. Now you have a trend, all three time frames. So that bounce that we got there at 1:15 between 1 o'clock, 1:15 and 1:30 was a monster short. Monster short. Again, these strategies repeat themselves over and over again. And when you see strategies like this and these patterns, you're going to understand the condition. When the condition is right, you know how to trade it, right? So what we did was when we got the sell reversal on the 30, I knew the 30-minute time frame correlated with the 15s on the spiders and the Qs, also the Russell and the Dow as well, the diamonds. But then the only one that reversed to sell was the Qs today on the 60-minute time frame. So that meant that yesterday's highs were nowhere near to be touched, okay? And that we had to sell after the first bounce at 10:40, 10:45 on the 5-minute. It goes in sequence 5, then 15, then 15 and 30. And that's exactly what happened today. I've been doing this so long and how these patterns repeat themselves over and over again. All right, let me show you today. Tesla got well, first of all, NVIDIA reversed to sell on the 60-minute time frame right here. And we got this beautiful short here on the 15-minute time frame, even though the 15 reversed to buy. Negative MACD, 2 out of 3, the 50, the 60, and the 30-minute reverse to sell. You take this first short on the 15-minute time frame. Again, look at the time: 12:45, 1 o'clock, 1:15. Unbelievable shorts here. Never look back, and NVIDIA dropped almost $3.50 here. Avago, AVGO. You can see here Avago reversed to sell on the 60-minute time frame, and I caught this great short at the end of the day on the 15 right here above 189.85, and it dropped. You can see almost $2. But here's when Avago, we got this push up again. Look how everything's set up at 115. At a 115, you can see Avago reversed to sell at 130. But if you bring up the 30-minute time frame, you can see Avago. Beautiful negative MACDs here. So when Avago pushed up, you can see the short Avago 190.70, boom, Unbelievable. Almost $4 in the Vago in a matter of about 45 minutes. Again, these patterns are strong, they're fierce. So when a Vago reversed to sell in the 30-minute time frame, right? There was a sell disconnect. The 30 and the 15 were in sell mode. The 60 was still in bullish. And then at 1:30, when a Vago reversed to sell on the 60-minute time frame, I took the short at around, I would say around about 3 o'clock, 2:55, 3 o'clock, 3:05. A Vago, sayonara, boom, straight down over 2 points. These patterns, as I teach them each and every day, repeat themselves. It's just a matter of keeping your eyes on indicator 4. And as I have my indicators 1, 2, 3, 4, indicator, my first one I look at all the time is indicator 4, which is my number 1. Indicator 1 is my number 2. Indicator 3 is my number 3. And indicator 2 is my number 4. That's the sequence I have it. That's how I look at the market. It gives me the ability to see the conditions in the market. Very, very important. Let's look at Coinbase here. Let's look at the 30-minute time reverses to sell. Okay. Now, when Coinbase reversed to sell here on the 15, and then this at 9:45, and then the 30-minute here around 10 o'clock, Coinbase went into a negative trend because the 60 is negative. So just like the Qs, this time the 30-minute time frame, which is my most powerful time frame, when this strategy lines up, it's really a Picasso, right? The 60 is negative on indicator 4 on Coinbase. The 15 reverse to sell. 2 out of 3, you have a sell disconnect. When the 30-minute reverse to sell at 10 o'clock, all 3 are in negative trend. You look to short the first bounce on the 5, and then the bounce on the 15, and then the bounce on the 30. And that's exactly what happened. Look at these absolute unbelievable patterns. Here's the bounce right after the opening here on the 5-minute time frame. Here's the bounce on the 15-minute time frame, okay? And here's the bounce on the 30-minute time frame. Overbought into the negative MACD, and I caught this unbelievable short here in Coinbase above 183, and you can see the drop of almost $4 here in Coinbase. SMCI, similar pattern here. SMCI, you can see when the 30-minute time frame reversed to sell, it correlated with the 60-minute, okay, as well. Another great pattern. Here's the first short on the 5-minute, and here's the short here on the 30-minute, 15 and 30. Overbought into the negative MACD. The guy who paid 41 or higher in SMCI, he jumped. Okay, these patterns repeat themselves over and over again. Let's look at Tesla. You can see we're in a negative trend on the 30 and the 15. And if you look here on Tesla on the 60-minute time frame, well, good old Tesla reversed to sell at 10:30. Here's the first bounce on the 5-minute. Here's the bounce on the 15. Not one. You can see it again. Just keep shorting it. And here's the second bounce at the end of the day that we took the short. Beautiful pattern on Tesla. So again, when you see the conditions in the market based upon pure mathematics and pure technical studies, you're able to see what? You're able to identify the trend. The first thing you do, like when you get out of the house, if you're driving and you see, like today, you get in a car, boom, there's a red light and you're behind 5 or 6 cars, you stop. Light turns green, everybody goes forward, right, proceeds, and you go with them. Boom, right? No problem. You identify a condition. If I'm driving here in Jupiter on 95 or A1A or whatever highway I'm on, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I have the convertible down. I don't have a convertible, but I'm saying my convertible top is down. I'd like to get a convertible, okay? And then I'm driving, and all of a sudden it's 85 degrees. The sun's on my face. I feel I got the music blasting, and I'm great, right? Hunky-dory. All of a sudden, I look ahead, and I see the skies turning black. I'm like, oh, my God. There's a monsoon coming, right? What do? Either I pull over, I pull up the top, boom, I cover myself, and I keep going, and then, I'm covered. Or I like to get soaking wet, right? No, I don't like that, but I'll put the cover up. So I'm identifying a condition. I try to make it so simple for people to understand how they can understand the concept, okay, of looking at 3 time frames. Everything I do is predicated for intraday trading on 3 time frames: a 15, a 30, and a 60-minute time frame. It's called combination methodology. That's my system. This is how I taught some of the biggest traders in the world, hedge fund managers. And what I do here also with the correlation studies between the underlying ETF and the continuous contracts, whether you're trading index futures or commodity futures, is significant. Significant. Whether you're trading gold futures to look at the underlying ETF, the GLDs, if you're looking at the oil futures, looking at the USOs, if you're looking at the 30-year bonds, you look at the 20-year TLTs, the ETF, and or if you're looking at the continuous contracts in the index futures, to look at the diamonds, the IWMs, the QQQs, and the spiders, right? So again, if you're able to identify the conditions in the market, then you're able to identify the next step. After the 5 conditions, the 10 strategies. Each condition has 2 strategies of buy and sell divergence. You can hear me say the same thing over and over again because everything I do is predicated on visualization and repetition. Again, visualization and repetition. Those of you who are new, and when you join my community, if you think you're just going to jump in here and make $10,000 in the first 3 days, this is not any type of a get rich type scheme. This is about doing your work, learning, right, and being able to focus on the patterns. What I'm able to teach you during the intraday markets and during the U.S. session, which is very, very important. Okay. I'm going to show you NVIDIA here. NVIDIA, again, now at 10:30, we got big sell reversals on Microsoft, Tesla, and also NVIDIA on the 60-minute time frames today. So that was really key. And if you look here on NVIDIA, okay, I forgot to I think I showed you this one here. This is after we got the short here on the 30-minute time frame on NVIDIA, and I'll show it to you here, which I really couldn't believe somebody actually was buying the NVIDIA up here above 119 into the negative MACD, and after the 30-minute correlated. And then you got the push up here. What happened to NVIDIA? The 15 reversed to sell again, right? Correlating with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. Look at this Picasso. Look at this short above 117.50. Kabooshed. Look at this. NVIDIA dropped more than $2.50. This is a Picasso. Okay? You just wait for the condition to happen. Oh, 15-minute reverse to sell. It correlates with the 30 and the 60. What I'm going to do, I'm going to short the first bounce on the 15. There it is. Right into or above the 10-bar weighted moving average. Now, I use a 10-bar moving average as a range where I would get into my ranges, into longs and shorts. Now, when NVIDIA was trading above the 117.50, that oscillator was into the 85.90 range. But because we market what's called end of bar, if you click on it, which I'll show you, you can see here on NVIDIA right here that the high was 117.58 and the close of 117.03. So it dropped 55 cents. So when NVIDIA was trading at the 117.58, indicator number 3 was getting way overbought. But because it dropped 55 cents, the bar completes what's called end of bar. And it plotted a lot lower. Okay. All right. IBIT today reversed to sell on IBIT on the 30-minute and the 60-minute time frame, which I knew right off the bat. When that happens, you look to short the first bounce on the 15-minute time frame on IBIT, which is the Bitcoin ETF. And you can see here, again, the 30-minute time. Look at this negative MACD here. And this is the bounce here on the 15. And here's the other bounce here on the 30-minute. You can see, and IBIT had nowhere but other than to go down. Now, it's not going to move a lot, but IBIT 50, if you can sell it above the 46.60, 46.70, you can see it dropped about 50, 55 cents, whatever. But again, it's a really great pattern. SMCI, I'll show you this, okay, on SMCI. Again, like I showed you earlier, but look at SMCI here. A 15-minute time frame reversed to sell again after the 30-minute bounce here. And when SMCI reversed to sell right here, it correlated, then the 15 reversed to sell, and it correlated not only with the 5-minute, but it also correlated with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. And what's the strategy? You take the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame. SMC. Now, obviously, when SMCI was trading here, it dropped about 32 cents, but when it was trading here, indicator 3 was about 80, about 70, about almost 80, 85 here. And you can see the drop here on SMCI from 39.39. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. It's roughly about 70 cents on SMCI. Great patterns here. Great patterns. Again, today, the 1040 pattern, the 1 o'clock pattern, 12:45, 1 o'clock on the 15, and then the 1:15, 1:30 pop on the 30-minute time frames. So again, this is unbelievable patterns. Microsoft monster short today on the 15-minute time frame, roughly around I think it was the 12:45. Let's look at Microsoft after reverse today. Microsoft reversed to sell on the 15 on the opening here. Here's the 30-minute time frame. I'm just showing you how these patterns repeat themselves. Here's the 30-minute. Again, the MACD is crossing negative from above the pivot. And here's the first bounce on the 15, 12:30, kabooshed. Microsoft dropped roughly more than $2 here. Great pattern. Then if you look at the 30-minute time frame, it's probably going to set up for tomorrow. The 60-minute reverse to sell. So where you going, Mr. Microsoft? Right here, 11:30. So now when Microsoft reversed to sell at 11:30, it correlated with the 60 and the 15. You take the first bounce on the 15-minute time frame. Picasso, Van Gogh, whatever you want to call it, this is an all-in type of trade. Okay. So great patterns today. So happy. So many people are getting it, learning. It's really important to me because my legacy depends on your success. I give it my all. I didn't even have lunch today. I stood here all day long. All right. And it was kind of quiet too, because tomorrow I'll explain what we're going to be looking for tomorrow. Now, with that being said, again, with the weekly charts being negative here for the first time since November 17th of 2023, that's how long that uptrend has been intact on the weekly on the spiders since November 17th of 2023. Okay, monster long uptrend. Again, when the weeklies go negative, they just don't go positive the next week. It takes time. It could take months or it can take years. But right now, I don't think so. I think with the spider monthly still bullish, the spiders would have to close on a closing basis below 537. Right now, we're 561, right? I don't see that happening. All right, I don't. With that, now, again, so gold is very strong today. Gold's getting way overextended. A lot of people, I said, and here's the other thing. Gold making new highs, the gold futures, the GLDs, but the gold miners are not. So I saw that today in the GOLD stock. The gold miner stock was up about 45, 50 cents, but not making new high like gold futures are. The old high on GOLD was above 21. And I said, I'd be looking to buy this dust. And so many people bought dust below 37.5 today, and it closed up higher. When I get back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I expect we'll have a good opening here for the first hour and a half. And then from 11 o'clock to 2, I think it'll be very, very tight ranged. Now, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have the FOMC minutes regarding interest rates from Fed Chairman Powell. I don't expect any interest rate cuts or any interest rate increase. And so I think it's going to be a matter of the language thereafter. I know President Trump, from what I understand, I think Mr. Powell's here till May. And then I think President Trump wants really cut interest rates drastically. So I think that sometime in the second and third quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if you see 2, maybe 3 interest rate cuts this year by our president. I think he thinks interest rates are still high. He wants to cut interest rates because the interest we're paying on our debt, he wants to reduce that. Okay, so I think this all comes into the mindset that after Mr. Powell leaves, that the president, I think minimum 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. Okay, I think 3 definitely this year. But for tomorrow, I think it's going to be slow. Big number, 559.71 on the spiders. If we take that out, we will have those 60-minute time frames would reverse to sell. All right. But then we don't know if the market, he says something positive or bullish, they could run 100 handles. So tomorrow is a day where you just trade the first hour, hour and a half. We wait patiently because I'm telling you, it's going to be like paint dry from 11:30 to 2. All right. When I come back, I have another great story to share with all of you. So, one of the things I tell people all the time, when you come into my community, in my live room, it's my job to guide you, to educate you, to teach you, right? To be able to teach my methodology to each and every one of you. All right. And, yesterday I got off the phone with someone and he said he had a little bit of a tough day because he was doing things on his own. I can't tell you what to do. It's your money. You do what you want. I'm not allowed to give investment advice. But the most important thing that I tell everybody is if you come to me, then let me teach you, right? So I gave the analogy to this person who's now third time I'm using him in this example. He's going to set the Guinness Book of World Records as the person I use most in my podcast. He knows who he is. I love him to death, but he is he is just, I don't want him to be his own worst enemy. So I said to him last night, I said, I got a question for you. You come to my community, you want me to teach you to learn, so you're pretty much hiring me to explain to you, subscribe to me, and to be able to teach you my methodology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I said to him, I got an analogy for you. And I always use analogies, crazy as they may be. It just pops in my head. I said, you hire me to paint your house, right? And it's lunchtime. I say, I'll be back in an hour. I'm taking my crew. We're going to go eat. I come back. I find you rolling the walls, painting the ceiling, doing the trim. I'm like, excuse me. I said, can I ask you what you're doing? He said, I'm painting. Okay. Well, I said, all right. So why are you painting? You hired me. Well, I want to do it. I want to do it my way. Okay. This is why I tell people, again, I can't give investment advice. I can't tell anybody what to do. But if you're in my world here, in my world, it's my job to teach you to get on the right track, to be able to see what I see, okay? And to be able for you to be able to pull the trigger and be confident in what you're doing, right? To be able to listen, to watch, listen, and learn, right? If you could just take that and come back and just take the ability to learn, okay? At one point, buying something when you don't know the system that well. I spent nearly 10 years of my life building this. 10 years of my life. I studied every tick. If I tell you, I was using TradeStation back then, and you had to create all these windows, little windows, and click them open every time to see a chart. They didn't have dynamic charts. Yes, you can click a chart and leave it up and running, but they couldn't do multiple time frames at the time. It was very hard 25 years ago when I was writing this, or whenever it was 20 plus years ago, right? All right. I started in, 01, right when my daughter was born, 01, 02. And I spent nearly 2000, 2001. Yeah, so almost 10 years, 9.5, 10 years of doing this, building this, right? But it's important. That's why I always say one of my 5 key words is patience. Learn, right? Learn from me. Watch, listen, and learn. Okay? As my father once said to me, one of the greatest gifts in life is the ability to listen. So learn from me, right? And be able to trade what you see. If you think there's something, then in the Discord, say, hey, Steve, I'm looking to take along this pattern. Are you seeing that I'm seeing this right? I'll say, I wouldn't be buying him here. I don't know what you see, but I wouldn't be buying him here. So, and again, I just think it's important that, that I come across with this message. I had something completely different I wanted to talk about. But again, this man now is in my podcast now from 3 different stories. I love him to death. I just hope he listens and watches this because I really care about him. And I care about all of you. And I just want to, these things happen for a reason. So I want to be able to share this with you. Okay. I'm Stephen Kalayjian. Thank you for joining me here on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Please, if you want to join my community, go to sktrading.live. Every day I stream from 9 to 4. I have my chart overlay on TradingView and on TradeStation. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please also leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at Steve Kalayjian. And I'm so excited. My community is growing each and every day. I come across so many new people around the world. Again, if you want to reach me, my number is 914-500-7484. If you want to text me, God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And I'll see you here tomorrow on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly.
Thanks for tuning in to The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.